Starfighters, welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut, and as ever, I'm joined by my deluxe co-host,
James Morrissey, one half of the Mad Science Films team. So, guys, remember, if you do like this video, then please hit the like button. If you've been enjoying the Mad Science content and want to subscribe to our channel and come follow us on Facebook, any comments or suggestions, leave those down below in the comment section. Thank you. Let's crack on with the show.
Yeah. Also, guys, please check out our fourth feature film for free over on YouTube. Just search for Little Monster or click on the link in the show notes below. Or do you know what? I might throw one of those cards up there, somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do one of those. Awesome. All right. Future James, remember to do that. This week, guys, we're campaigning for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the exquisite Blu Ray treatment. This week, I've gone with my choice because Jimmy M, he's got too much going on in his brain pan. So I have decided to go for 1987's Enemy Territory from Peter Manoogian. Righty. Jim, are you ready for synopsis?
Do it.
An insurance salesman inadvertently gets trapped after dark in an apartment building that is terrorized by a street gang called the Vampires. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you know, I think more should be made of the fact that Ray Parker Jr. is in it, but we'll come back to that. So, Jim, is this a first-time watch?
Yeah, first-time watch for me. Although the setup, the kind of film it is, I think I've seen it before, in many
deja vu,
many different forms. But I really like. I think I really enjoy these kind of films. So I don't know if I can be. You can trust my word on this because I might just be swayed by the absolutely.
I trust you, Jim.
Full on 80s. This is so 80s, and I love it because it's so 80s, and I love it because it's like a siege movie that just is just entertaining as fuck. But I really like the characters in this, and I think they're really well done. I love the sweet old grandmother who just wants to get insurance to make sure it's okay. I love the white, what's his name? Barry, fish out of water, white guy, insurance guy who's really not having the best of luck and then ends up in this fucking situation. And then he spends most of the film apologizing or paying people off or paying people for random stuff. Loads of really good characters. And I really like Tony Todd in this too.
Yeah.
The Count, they're really playing on the vampire thing, aren't they? Because
I think this is one of it. I don't think this is his first role, but it's one of his first kind of, I won't say starring, but first big roles. He was in Platoon before this, but in terms of, he is clearly the lead villain of this piece. And
he plays lunatic very well. And the only thing I wished maybe if they did is actually if these were vampires would be really fucking cool, but it's one of those things. But no, I really enjoy it. I love the soundtrack for this film too.
Yeah, definitely
really good soundtrack. Really dug the music for this, and in some ways it kind of looked like a music video, like the corridors and the wide angle lens and all that kind of stuff. The music video feel to it. But yeah, good fun, real good, solid 80s fun.
Awesome, dude. I'm so glad you like this, mate. Honestly, I absolutely love this film. And if I hadn't realized until recently that this film hadn't had a Blu-ray release, I don't even think it's had a DVD release. Wow. Mate, this would have been like the first pick for the first ever episode we did of this show because that's how much I love this. So I'm a massive fan of the director's other work. As a kid, I grew up watching Arena, which I definitely recommend you guys check out. It's kind of like space gladiators, space boxing, but very much in that 80s commercial kind of way of being, about that. And I also love the poster. I like the film, but I love the poster for the Eliminators, which is another great sci-fi action. And these are all like from Charles Band's Empire Pictures. And you know, like I'm not the most biggest fan of Full Moon, but back when he was doing the Empire stuff and he had a bit more money behind him, Empire Pictures was like a solid place to go. But what's weird about this is this isn't like supernatural. This isn't like sci-fi stuff. This is just down and dirty, grim and gritty. You know, it starts up, you kind of get your you know, the basic premise set up in the first 10 minutes, and then everybody's just fucking running for the rest of the film, for the rest of its 85 minutes. And absolutely love it. And those early 10 minutes where it's just set up, it's done so well as well. So, you know, like over the graffiti written credits or whatever, you've got like the soundtrack going, you've got opening shots of the environment as well, so straight away you're clued in. This isn't a place you want to be hanging around after dark.
I love that. It's getting dark, you want to get out of here. It's like, ooh, tension building.
I love that, mate. That was one of the things, again, is done so well. Yeah, it's just the idea that, you know, the old security guard who's fucking ancient and the old lady as well, they're both trying to get this white insurance salesman out of the building quickly. They're really genuinely worried for his safety. And that just builds so much tension in this first 10 minutes. And you're like, holy shit, what is going to happen? You know? Yeah, going back to the vampires, the gag, I'm fine with them not being actual vampires, dude. I love how well thought out this thing was. The wording they use, you know, blood traitor to describe Ray Parker Jr. and the ghost, you know, for the white guy. Show us your fangs. All of this stuff, man, is so like well thought out, much better than you'd expect of, you know, a gang in the 80s. You know, normally it'd just be a bunch of guys going, hey, SA, I kill you now, and that would be it. But you know, they've actually thought this through. You know, Tony Todd, as you said, mate, is amazing. You know, he's such a great character in this. All of the other gang members have got like you know, like code names as well. Psycho and all these others. Did you also see towards the end playing A-Train was Kadeem Hardison from Drive? Like a really small little bit part, but I was just like, yeah, nice. You know, this guy popped up. Yeah, so it was shot by Ernest Dickerson, who at the time was better known for shooting like Spike Lee movies. You know, he shot like Spike Lee's first half a dozen films at least. Went on to become like a horror director in his own right, directed the Snoop Dogg starring Bones. Have you ever seen Bones?
Oh yeah, fucking hell, yeah.
So you know the guy's got horror chops, and yeah, those corridors, and again, we found this as well, trying to make these long corridors interesting. You know, there's like, you know, pans, there's tilts, all of this kind of stuff. He's doing to keep it interesting, moving the camera as the characters are running towards down the corridor and then following them as well. Beautifully done, absolutely beautifully done. And also, this is a weird one. Is I recognize the name of the screenwriter, Stuart Kaminsky, so I kind of had a look on IMDb and I didn't recognize anything there. Stuart Kaminsky is better known as like a crime author, and he's written like, I don't know, close to 60 to 70 like crime books or whatever. So again, I think, you know, this great pedigree of stuff coming together. Peter Manoogian, you know, who's a great genre guy, doing just a straight ahead crime thing. Ernest Dickerson shooting it. Stuart Kaminsky writing it. Absolutely amazing. And then, you know, yeah, going into the cast, you've got Gary Frank, who plays what's the insurance salesman's guy, Barry?
Barry. Really good, man.
Really good, really good. He's got this like New York nervous energy.
I love the bit when he kills the guy for the first time. They just didn't overlook that. They actually a bit of time, like he's an insurance guy, he just killed somebody. You know
the
what I mean?
film stops dead for about 2 minutes as he's really dealing with the trauma, that guilt, and you know, it's real acting.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, Ray Parker Jr., right, is just an amazing screen presence. You know, he's like this cocky guy, and it's kind of mad that he never really pursued acting after this. I mean, whether he was just absolutely rich from the Ghostbusters theme tune money, I don't know. But I thought he was absolutely amazing. You know, his screen presence, he was fun to watch at all times. A very young Stacey Dash is in this. So about 5 years later, I think she's in Clueless. And again, she is brilliant. She absolutely kind of carries the film. You know, she's this innocent bystander that's kind of pulled into this and helps these guys escape. You've got Jan Michael Vincent in
Oh,
a
man.
mental cameo
Yeah.
as a paralyzed Vietnam vet.
Up into a wheelchair and he's still kicking ass, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like a weaponized wheelchair as well. That's like, you know, just he shows off like shooting at his cat, and then obviously he's killing.
Do you know I got this bird?
It's
You're an animal lover, man.
that's the one bit which it pushes it for me. It like that's the one bit that gets a bit cartoon territory.
Yeah, it was definitely in the comedy territory, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, not enough to take me out, not enough to take me out. But I did kind of think, you know, as soon as he had like a machine gun strapped to his motorized wheelchair, I was like, you know what? It didn't need this.
He was maybe he was an insight to how fucking mental this guy was, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I mean, you know, yes, I think, you know, the fact he's got a bird and a cat, you know, the bird for the air and the cat to eat his food to make sure he's not poisoned. That was a pretty good clue. But yeah, I cannot stress how much I love this film and how much of a crime it is that it hasn't had a Blu-ray release yet, dude. It's mental to me.
it's definitely up there, one of the best siege films. I really enjoyed it. It's so good. So
Yeah.
good.
It never lets up, and yet it still finds time to build character, you know, and for all of them as well. Like, I understand why Stacey Dash is doing what she's doing. Normally, you know, when the girl character is roped into this, it's just a convenience of the plot, but they've spent enough time setting up why she's doing it. Same with Ray Parker Jr. You know, he's just a genuinely nice guy and he doesn't want to see this guy killed. Yeah, I love the fact that he's got you know, he's given this wad of cash, which just gradually gets smaller and smaller and smaller as he's buying his way to safety. It's brilliantly done. And yeah, like you were saying earlier, mate, about, you know, Gary Frank, he's like apologizing to people. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He goes on this character journey, which again, you don't need in a film like this, but he does it. You know, he starts off as this quasi racist guy. He's like, holy shit, you know, what are you people doing? Why are you in a place like this? And by the end, he's like begging forgiveness from the other, you know, people living in the tenement. He's apologizing to them all. He's like, I didn't mean to suggest I'm buying your son, you know, all of this kind of stuff. There's character journeys in a siege movie that only lasts 85 minutes.
It's wonderful. It's so much fun and it's
Yeah.
really well made. It looks great. Some great characters. Yeah, it's good fun. Good.
Underseen Jen, and I honestly cannot understand the reason why. The only thing I can think of is maybe music rights. Maybe there's a track in there or something which is, you know, not cleared or whatever. Did you notice the end song was sampling from John Carpenter's Halloween?
Really? I didn't pick
Yeah,
up.
so I wonder whether there's some rights issues there. Perhaps they didn't clear the sample or something. I don't know, but that's usually when films of this caliber haven't actually been released yet, it tends to be music rights or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but again, you know, hey, the John Carpenter connection, you know, back to Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, Jim, I think I've fully converted you now, which is great. Which boutique Blu-ray label is best placed to put this bad boy out?
I mean, there's so many, I think, for this kind of film, the year and the genre. But I've gone for three. Shell Factory, I think it'd be good.
Nice.
7 films, and I think a really good one would be 88 films. I think
Nice.
definitely. So
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
great.
I've gone with Arrow. Only because recently out on the Arrow player, they've been putting out a lot of full moon pictures. So I'm assuming they've got some pre-established deal with them. And I think it would be absolutely awesome. I would love for them to go in depth. You know, a lot of these guys are still alive. You know, the director, the writer. Oh no, I think the writer's passed away. Ernest Dickerson, the DP. Get these guys back in the interview chair. Let's go deep in depth about, you know, how did a film like Enemy Territory get made by Empire Pictures, who were best known for like Ghoulies and shit like that, man? You know, like it's a weird project for them to do, and it's amazing how well they did it. You know, you look at Peter Manoogian's other stuff; it's all like horror or sci-fi stuff, but he absolutely smashed it out of the park. I just think there's such a rich behind the scenes to be kind of explored in that. Yeah, Arrow, my boys. So yeah, put that bad boy up.
And just to see the film like restored to Blu-ray, it looks so good and it sounds so good, and yeah, it looked amazing on Blu-ray. So yeah,
nice. Okay, so Jim, you've watched Enemy Territory. You want to follow it up with something else. The night is young. What film are you going to watch next?
Well, keep it in with a theme. So, so for Siege, if you want a bit more Siege stuff, I've gone back to two films which we've recently or previously reviewed, and I've gone for. So, if you like Tony Todd, and you like a bit more mental gang leader guy, Rob Zadar in Dead End City, I think would be. That would be a good follow-on.
Yeah.
Chains, another good Siege film. Yeah, and it basically rips off the Warriors and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Good call.
1989. And if you want some kind of more gang stuff, or just delinquent fucking teenagers, Death Wish 3. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I was on IMDb and it come up. And I forgot this film, James Belushi in The Principal. Yeah, really good one. So yeah, there's my suggestions.
VHS classic, man. That was a video shop rental back in the day. The Principal. Yeah, good call, man. I went with I definitely recommend checking out Peter Manoogian's other films, Arena and The Eliminators, definitely. But with The Eliminators, just it can't possibly live up to how cool the cover is. But still, decent film. Tenement, which I'm going back to the ones I always recommend when we're talking about Siege movies. Enemy Territory, which is a previous recommendation, and other ones. So Tenement is again a very similar kind of idea. What I like about Tenement though is they kind of at the lower thirds they kind of say what time it is and what floor they're on, so it's very like video game kind of stuff. Of course, the classics are Assault on Precinct 13, always going to have a recommendation. And a more recent one with friend of Mad Science Films, The Raid, of course, which again is another gang in a building, this time an undercover cop that's got to get out. Not undercover, just a SWAT team cop that's got to get out alive. So again, very similar and lots of fun. If you haven't seen The Raid, what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing?
You're watching us, and we thank you for it. So, Enemy Territory. Have you guys seen Enemy Territory? What did you think of Enemy Territory? Are there any other films that you think would pair nicely with Enemy Territory? And also, guys, are there any other films that you want us to campaign for the beautiful Blu-ray treatment? And Jim, what else can these lovely people do?
You can like this video. And then also, if you've been enjoying the Mad Science content, then come stalk us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. Any comments or suggestions, leave us in the comment section down below. Thank you. And goodbye.
So